picked up in the last couple of days. So
No.
seems like they're, the faces must be busy or something.
Oh no, we've only the only thing that's happened really of note. We've done a nice newspaper reading.
Yeah. Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't really nice to be honest, but yeah, had to read the whole newspaper to Charlie.
Okay. Well, all right. Let me see.
Said he'd had a long day. Maybe he was flying around in a buzzard trying to get you.
I don't think so. I think I ran it. So, did you get a video of it all?
I've got pictures.
Oh,
Buzzard.
I doubt it's got me in it though, right?
No, it's just him.
Oh my god, it was pretty insane. Yesterday's events, which I mean, pretty much the entire city was witness to. I actually right before this I had a traffic stop where the antennas were brought up by said individuals.
Okay.
And the way I look at it is, it's not a mystery. There's antennas popping up. Obviously, SASM is looking into them as best as we can. I think we estimate a couple dozen that were put up very recently, probably within yesterday morning.
Okay. If you want, I can share with you the updated map that I shared with you.
Oh
some
my
time
god,
ago.
yes, that would be amazing.
It's got a lot more cameras. It's got a lot of antennas and satellites and some specific satellites as well.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. That is very useful. Yeah. We've been doing our own documentation, of course, but I know that previous one you showed me was quite good. By the way, Sparks here is very trusted, so, she won't be, when it comes to where this information came from, we'll be assuring that it's handled in care. So,
Perfect. Let me just export this and I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, there's been a definite change in the radio tower behind the Varnwood sign. One of the first places we went to, and there's a massive satellite tower with a lot of satellites there.
Mm-hmm.
That's popped up since we were last there.
Yeah, then also at the Cypress area, there's a really, really big tower with a lot of satellites as well. I think that one was on the newspaper this week.
Yeah. And the airport is definitely interesting. Do we think that blackout yesterday was them, Brian?
I did see the blackout yesterday, and we had reports that there was a blackout at the time the initial set of the last known phase of antennas had gone up. However, I'm unsure what yesterday's blackout was about. And I have some theories, but it's a bit of a mystery to us.
Okay.
Sorry, Frank. Can you share your ID with me? So
yes, it's going to be 1130.
1130. There you go. There's a lot of colors and a lot happening on this one. But yeah.
Ooh!
Yeah, we were trying to figure out if there's any patterns or anything to the antennas, but it literally just looks like they are all over the place.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be any pattern to what direction they're pointing either.
There are certainly a lot of them.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Making it a little bit easier for me to chat while I take a look at this. This is,
It's a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Badger satellites. Could you, what, okay, so the previous version I saw, so, okay, I see no box cameras. What does no
Yes.
box cameras mean?
There's a few cameras that I've noticed since we did that first article on cameras that have popped up in locations that had cameras before that are also on a pole, looking really similar to the ones we've seen with the box, but they just have no box at all. And there's been enough popping up in different places that made me actually notice them.
Interesting. Okay. It's
And,
antenna, satellite.
You
Go ahead.
mentioned Badger. Badger is the type of satellite that we saw Charlie working on the Echelon.
Yeah.
So we've been
Mm.
keep making special note of those ones that we see around.
When you say Badger versus the non-Badger ones, what is the difference?
They literally have the Badger logo on them.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look in the latest newspaper, you can see the logo on the one Charlie's working on the Echelon. And we found some in the airport, and since then, Nora actually spotted the Badger HQ in the city. There doesn't seem to be anything of interest that we can see on that building as of yet. We've had a good look around it. But yeah, there's a lot of Badger satellites in LSIA airport. I think, was there about 12, Nora, I think?
Yeah. There's like
Yeah.
a big infrastructure with them.
Mm.
And they do look a bit different. Like the other satellites are more like dish looking satellites. And these ones are, yeah, just a bit rounder and fuller, I guess.
Interesting. I'm looking for the purple. Could you point me at where I can look for some of the purple ones? Some of the colors are kind of
yeah.
throwing me off just a
Yeah,
a
I
tad
know.
bit.
It's, yeah. I've been having to deal with that as well.
Oh, there's so many by the Epsilon building. That's so insane.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
we've come to the conclusion, at least. Yeah, that's why we've been paying so much attention to the Epsilon building over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So the Badger ones, you have them at the Echelon and at the airport right now. Those are the only two places we've seen. There's places we think maybe they are, but they are like on top of buildings or places that are not really accessible to us. So I haven't marked them down.
That sounds stupid, Nora. Can you send me the latest version?
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the latest
I
update
don't,
either.
no, I don't think you have it.
She's bogarting out on the information
Yep.
there.
And
What the
honestly, I know you're probably seeing it right now, but I can't even express how good of a job Nora's done with this map.
Give me your ID, Frank.
12742.
12742. The thing is, I update it literally like I have it on my phone, and every time we drive around, I have to update it all the time. So it's difficult to share the latest one.
I'm sort of like silently gazing through this and trying to see if there's anything that kind of stands out for me. I don't see any of the Badger. Oh, okay. The light purple model is a model one. So the Badger ones are
Badger-
going to be at LSIA, right?
And Echelon.
And Estrelon. Oh, okay. Okay. It was mixing a little for me.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. The colors are a bit close.
Someone did point me to some Badger related thing over by the Vinewood power plant. However, I didn't like personally look at it myself and what exactly that reference was. They kind of told me in a very like discreet way, but it was discreet enough that I didn't entirely like I didn't know until you told me just now that Badger is like a so like does it say Badger? Is it like a Badger on it?
Yeah. Have you
Um,
got the latest newspaper, Nora?
Yeah, I do.
I've ran
I'll
out
give
of
you
my
a copy.
copies. Just to have a look at the picture of Charlie, you can quite literally see the logo next to him as he's working on it.
There you go. One copy for you. And one copy for you.
And the Badger HQ building is just off Spanish Avenue in the Vinewood area.
Yeah.
Just by
exactly.
between Spanish and Meteor Street.
You haven't noticed the antenna on Mount Chiliad yet.
I haven't got there. Nope. Yep.
I am really hoping I can get my flight lessons completed this week
Yeah,
for our helicopter
we
so we can
can,
go properly looking.
That's exciting. I wish
Yeah.
you the best.
Thanks, mate. It's been a bloody nightmare trying to get them finished. But now there's a few more instructors. Probably means I'm going to be doing my test with Mr. Gunnar Kane, I think.
Really? Hell
So,
yeah. I actually met with him the other day. He wasn't exactly was very forthcoming, I would say. I think deep down he thinks I'm still gonna screw him over for some reason or another.
I'll be honest, I don't know. We met with him and he seems very down in the dumps.
Yeah.
Wait, why
Yeah.
though?
I don't know. Spent the whole time on our conversation basically looking at his phone, not really
Yeah, he was like he was not really there.
yeah. Strange.
I think the biggest problem that SASM faced is its prior not a lot of people SASM is the most challenging department to be a part of, I think, in the state. Given that we effectively have to investigate everybody, and what we do tends to be the most what am I looking for? It is the most we can bring down the biggest amount of pain. Let's put it that way. So there's a lot of friction, right? Whether it's like police departmental stuff, we've got multiple investigations, state actors, corrupt law enforcement, you name it. And I don't think that the previous directors, while they may have been good people, right, necessarily had the skill set or the characteristics needed for the position. And even today, we're significantly larger than the previous iterations, but even now we are literally have no time on our hands. Even right before this meeting, without going into detail, me and Sparks had to pull over with another fire that we had to deal with. And sometimes it feels like we're kind of the I don't know. It's hard to explain. So where I'm going with all this is, I think Gunnar was put in a very difficult position, and he probably did the best he could with his abilities, but due to just the lack of experience, which can't really fault him for, there's probably only a handful of people that could ever have said experience, he probably kind of got screwed from with a situation outside of his control. I think it's too bad that he hasn't considered perhaps giving things another shot. And I understand that maybe, you know, when you're director one day and then not the next, it may feel like you can't go back. But I don't think that's necessarily the case, right?
Yeah, I actually think you'd really enjoy being a part of what you're doing right now,
Yeah.
to be honest. So,
I did certainly allude to that during the conversation I had with him, but truthfully, he was very cagey, so I couldn't quite get a feel. And I wasn't certain I'd offer him something, but I would, I didn't see the interest there either. But maybe he needs some time. I don't know.
yeah. I know we've got a lot to go over. There is one thing we wanted to bring up that happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we haven't had too many brushes with danger, it doesn't feel like, but there was one specific day. The picture in the paper of the person wearing the red mask on top of the Epsilon building. I got a ping to the new Epsilon building, to the front door. As did two other people. I don't want to give their names in case they're not comfortable giving their names in. But basically, none of us had any idea. We all just kind of turned up at the building, thought that each other person had maybe pinged us, but then Nora spotted the person on the roof working on the satellite dish. And turns out his name is Falcon, or at least his code name, whatever they called him.
The Merryweather guy.
It looks like Charlie with the red mask, basically.
Oh,
Same uniform.
Okay.
You should have some pictures of that. I've sent them to you a few days ago, I think.
Yes. There was a photo of Charlie on the left-hand side and then the guy Falcon on the right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got him confused with the guy that we recently ran into with we'll get into that afterwards.
Yeah. Now, according to Charlie, he is no longer with us. He is dead. But apparently there are two Falcons, is what Charlie told us.
Huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Said the other one is in a lot of trouble with the boss because he's really messed up. There were a group of...
Wait, is he dead or is he in a lot of trouble?
That's what... So, he told us he was dead. And then he said he's in a lot of trouble with the boss. And I was about to ask the question you just asked. And he cut me off and said, Frank, before you ask, I know what you're going to ask. There are two Falcons, is what he said to me. This is during the rather intense newspaper reading I had to do for him.
So rather openly, I don't mind divulging this because this is something that has been rather public, is the previous guy with the red mask quite literally sniped someone out in public at LSIA. I'm trying to remember the name. Somebody that we had escape out, and that's when we had to, this is like 4 months back. We ended up shooting the guy, like, I guess Falcon 1, let's call him, out of in a helicopter. And then I think he went into, he's in our protective custody. And I guess the reason I bring that up is, number one, if that's what Charlie said, I believe it. But what's fucking me up right now is, why is there a Falcon 1 and a Falcon 2, and what is their function? Because up until now, it has been our presumption that there is, like, people that deal with, like, assault stuff, people that deal with, recon stuff. So what does this mean? What does, Charlie being up there and working on a satellite dish, okay, but this Falcon guy who previously used to assassinate folks, what is he doing up there? It creates more questions than answers, if anything.
On all the images I have, he was literally working on the antennas and just walking around the roof area.
What the?
The only other time we saw him was later on in the day, maybe an hour later. We were
Yeah.
going to the cloud store. As
Okay.
we were leaving, he came up behind us on a motorbike, drove straight past us, so we followed him, and he went straight to the Epsilon building again.
Hmm.
He did say, Charlie, something. He mentioned the sleeping giant to us,
Mm.
but he said something else at the end. I've got it on my notes because Nora wasn't there. So he said, sleeping giant is in place. Soon the eyes will be open. And then he said, something older, something much colder, brick by brick, lie by lie, deception by deception. And then the time is now, essentially. And that was pretty much what he said before he left. And we've basically been dooming and spiraling about that ever since, haven't we, Nora? So,
Yes.
and weirdly, one of the theories we had a few days ago was whether they are going to switch the lights out on the city. And then that happened yesterday.
When did they say that specifically?
Oh, it would have been. What day was it you went around, Nora?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah. Yeah, actually, I've got the date on my notes yet. 31st of December.
I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, and I know I've been rather silent here, but a lot of what you're saying has me. It's got my cogs turning, but the problem is, like, I'm not like latching onto anything. You know what I mean? Not the words that you're saying, but latching onto I can see where this is going, or I kind of know what this is about, right? Okay, so we're aware the power went out around the time some antennas went up. We also know the power went out yesterday at approximately the same time there was a faceless situation occurring. So the question that draws me to is, why did the power go out? What was the intent? And my immediate thought, and we did check this, is did Bolingbrook, was there a breakout? There wasn't.
Yeah.
And or any indication thereof. However, Bolingbrook is one of what can be many it can be one of many if shutting down the power can shut down the power so significantly that the entire penitentiary is at risk, that means effectively I would argue that every facility in San Andreas is at risk. So perhaps they wanted to enter something else that we have not yet kind of made note of.
Yeah. One of the things we wanted to check, because we'd talked about this as a possibility after that conversation with Charlie. And one of the things we wanted to check is whether the satellites were maybe on separate generators and whether they continued to flash during the blackout, but they were also down in terms of power. They were not flashing red anymore because
Mhm.
someone pointed out to me that normally antennas being so high up, they would flash red to basically to stop aircraft from hitting them.
That is correct.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, they were no longer flashing red. They were all out of power as well, seemingly.
I don't necessarily think that, the power. Not so. I could imagine let's say you needed to put up a bunch of infrastructure that takes a significant amount of voltage. Maybe shutting down the power would be a security measure, but it still doesn't jive, right? Like I feel like that's not the answer. It's something else. Like perhaps a secure facility, right?
Yeah,
Something
maybe.
they're trying to access. And I have some ideas, but I'm a little hesitant to share them, at least at this time, just because at least one of those things is a matter that we are kind of looking into. And before we can evaluate, I have to hesitate a bit. I do not believe that these antennas necessarily are domestic. And okay, so if I was a betting man, there's a 70% chance whatever this is being used for is for something domestic. But there is a possibility that the transmission is not domestic. I've been playing with the ideas of, okay, is this getting relayed to a ship? Have you ever seen the nuclear sub?
I don't think so.
No.
There was a sighting of it. I want to say 4 to 5 months ago. I saw it with my own eyes. I take that back. I
Okay.
didn't see it with my own eyes. I was given a photograph by a individual that is mute. In fact, he twatted it. And I never managed to run into him again. I'm trying to recall the name, but he was like on a bike, and he oddly enough happened upon not that sub, but other things. He's kind of like a watcher, in the sense that, he spends a lot of his time looking around, and as a result comes across things. It's one of those sort of predicaments. Have any of y'all come across the number 3?
Only the first thing that comes to my mind is only in terms of what they say, and they've said to me
Yeah.
on several occasions, always look for the triple meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's
I've
like
said that several times. Yeah.
And
And,
how far back has that messaging been?
Not too long ago, the last time I heard it, I think we quoted it in this week's newspaper.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, because because we really struggle. Remember the newspaper article with 10 steps ahead? I'm convinced there was another 2 things in that article, and we just can't figure out what they were, because there always seems to be more than one meaning to what they do. Always 3.
Another example. On the 13th of October, the Faceless twatted a bunch of numbers. Everyone
Oh yeah.
thought it was 365, which was the days that everything started 1 year ago, but that actually had 2 other meanings. It was a bunch of periodic numbers of the elements on the periodic table, and some coordinates nearby Mount Gordo. So they literally do use 3 meanings in a bunch of stuff.
This is something we've spiraled about with the satellites.
Yeah.
It's quite likely they have 3 different functions.
Data transmission seems to be. I'm going to lay out what I can. I believe, as we have sort of previously hypothesized, we know that there exists the Faceless Network and the application, of which we've seen the login for. Mind you, even to this day, I'm pretty sure it's an ex-marshal that provided it, specifically because some of what that picture had some details in it that effectively lets us timestamp it. But I don't want to dig back into where it came from, because I think some of these things do need to get public if the powers that be stop doing corruption and instead focus on people, but that's another matter. The Faceless needs information. Without information, they cannot function. Whether it's your location, whether it's the fact that they know. How many times have you gotten photographed by Skynode? Probably a decent amount, right?
Yeah, God knows how many.
Definitely a bunch.
And even when you least expect it, next thing you know, they're showing you that they have you, or showing someone else that they have seen others. It's a form of manipulation, right? If you have information, you can do things that others cannot. And when you're presented with that as close to omnipotence as you can, it's scary. It's probably why a lot of people didn't ever speak about the faceless so openly, because it is, in a way, a masquerade. Who's behind the mask? We don't know. How do they know who I'm with? We don't know. We have some vague semblance of what's occurring, right? The UAVs. Only to then find out they have people on the ground as well watching and photographing. But the only way that they can reach to the point of where people are is with a very elaborate, powerful system that collects information. Perhaps at one point it was in the Epsilon, sorry. Maybe somewhere prior to that. Could have been a singular PC in Edgar de Castillo's house. But eventually, Epsilon, I think very recently in the Life Invader building. We spoke about this a bit, right? Is that I don't think it's reasonable that a military upload device was attached just for what to take what you had, but rather what they themselves had stored.
I can give you some more on that, Brian. Charlie confirmed that to me.
Confirmed what?
He told me that he had to speak to the investors to convince them to allow him to take down the Chronicle bot on top of what they were already planning.
Oh. Okay. Okay. But that gives me a lot of confidence that the theory crafting we've been doing in SASM is at least, may not be precise, but accurate, or the other way around. Which one is it? Or accurate but not precise. So now the question is the where. I don't inherently believe that wherever this system is now, I don't believe we can reach it any longer. I have good reason to believe that. That information, rather forwardly, comes from a source that is not favorable to the Faceless, without saying too much, but I'm sure you know who I'm alluding to.
Mhm.
And the words were, we can't stop them, we can only slow them down. So, what does that tell me? It tells me that if we were at one point able to stop them, it would have been because we went to Life Invader and blew their shit up.
Oh,
But
Interesting.
it is wherever this thing is now, we can't reach it because it's underground, maybe in a highly secured building, one that we likely are unable to penetrate, or it's in like Liberty City. And so that network will persist. What are these antennas? These antennas are probably a part of the system, but rather I think that they're more an indicator that they're absorbing more information than they had been prior. So we're not talking CCTVs anymore. I mean, you go to a damn, walk by an ATM, those little cameras might be, hardwire sending it to a security system, but ultimately getting broadcasted off a tower, right?
Yep.
And then comes the second fear, and is the question becomes then now what? And I feel like I keep landing on one of two things. One is they feel they are now in full control, which I don't believe to be the case. I mean, just look at the damn gang wars, faces versus anti-faces on the street, right? I don't think that's one that they can sit back and say we're winning that, so it's not that. Maybe they believe they've tapped in deep enough that no matter whatever comes down the way, they will be ultimately able to control it. And I think that means by which they control it is by taking control of the financial system, the one thing that everyone needs.
Yeah.
But there's a secondary scenario, is that it's possible that we can't stop them and only slow them down because it's actually too late and they're ready to reset. Every bit of data has been backed up, every system backed up. Now it's time to exterminate. And I know that seems rather extreme. Is it that they believe they're in full control, or do they believe it's time to exit? To me, those are the two roads that all of this points my mind to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does make sense to what Charlie was saying about the time is now.
Yeah.
Some interesting billboards around City Honda as well, Nora, about like Maze Bank
Yeah.
foreclosing, how to defund the banks.
Yeah.
She popped up north.
Told you, Justin.
Especially in Sandy.
I'm okay. How are you, ma'am?
I asked Charlie a question before he left the other day, and it was whether all of the raids and all of the gangs basically having like inner turmoil with each other has essentially allowed them the cover to finalize their plans. And he just nodded at me before he left, almost like it's a bit of a distraction what's going on with the gangs at the moment.
I think every gun trade, every weapon trade has always been a low priority for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
And the fucked up thing is it draws into question then what the fuck is their priority and what have they been doing this entire time?
That's the $1 million question we've been asking ourselves all this time.
Yeah. A really, really bad spiral we had the other day, and this is purely a hypothesis rather than based on any factors. If things ever get so bad and people were to wake up to what they are doing, to the point where people felt the need to take up arms against them. How perfect a scenario for them that all of a sudden people can't get magazines or bullets or ammo. Not based on the stuff that you're doing, Brian, but the fact that the gangs are now doing it to each other.
Yeah.
I don't think they have facilitated the raids that are taking place, but I do think they could have nudged the gangs in a certain direction, so they all of a sudden are starting to infight.
I don't believe that that was a part of their plan. I'm extremely confident in that. Now, they may allude to it have been, or they may say at this stage, they may at this stage, I had a court case yesterday, and I don't want to go too far off the reservation, but that court case ultimately was exactly what we were looking for, and the defendant claimed it was in their favor or it's what they wanted. Sometimes people will say things are a part of their plan because it's a means by which to save face.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel as though that may be what the faceless are doing in this case.
Yeah.
So I don't think necessarily this is planned, but I do think a lot of the gun running, this and that, and the faces or guns are very quickly becoming obvious to have been a distraction to something bigger, right? This final plan, whether it be the chemicals or be it the nuke or all the other things that have been alluded to. I mean, I think for me, one of the strangest things is like we can't really confirm whether a nuke even exists, right? We can only assume simply based on everything else we've seen the faceless do.
Yeah.
When the notion of there's three meanings came up, was there anything else that was like brought up that may hint to what that means, or has there been any past message that confirms that? You know what I mean? Like I can't really think of any example off the top of my head where there's been triple meaning. Like the closest thing I could think of is like, okay, Brandon, pretended he was, or whatever he did, and then he wrote the article, but there was a message in it, but that wasn't really three.
If you take that tweet that they posted on the 13th of October, that literally has three meanings.
Which one is it?
The numbers that they posted on the 13th of October.
Remember everyone, the numbers, everyone.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah, 365 days, but it also, as Nora suggested earlier,
a bunch of elements in the periodic table.
Yeah, a lot of chemicals.
Of them are, a lot of chemicals actually. And then I also checked for coordinates, and that leads to a place nearby Mount Gordo.
And we looked it up, and a lot of those chemicals, if put together, could let's just say could help something go boom.
Yeah, exactly. I can actually check for the exact chemicals if you want. I have it somewhere.
I believe it was Mr. Blue who first said it to me, and it was after the 10 Steps Ahead article. Said always look for the triple.
To be honest, I think Charlie had said it to me even before.
Yeah, I've definitely heard it maybe 3 or 4 different times directly from the faceless themselves.
The 3 different meanings thing, right?
Yeah.
I believe that they believe. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not trying to be like a dick to them, I guess, for lack of a better word. But I'm sort of wondering to myself, right? Like, okay, they're saying this, but are they actually You know, like, is this something they're actually doing?
So
I
I'll
think
be
that's
honest with
fair,
you.
right?
You just sent me on a bit of a spiral because you used the word masquerade.
I did,
And in my
yeah.
head, so it was quite literally a masquerade party.
Mhm.
But then also, are they pointing
And there was
towards
3 people in blue.
yeah, and then the whole thing is a masquerade. The whole thing that they're doing, it's and also are they saying it's a masquerade that they are? Here we are, right in front of the whole city, showing ourselves.
But are they? But we don't even know that. Those 3 people in blue
Yeah.
could literally have been Frederick White, Brandon Valentino, and whatever other person's got, like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
blue
you're right, yeah.
blue knee pads, you know?
I think they don't need blue popsicles to suck on, do they? So,
No. Oh, have you seen what I've been giving some of the people we've been charging?
no, don't.
No.
Here, feel free to hand that to Nora afterwards. I do need this back
Oh my
only
God, Brian.
because you know, you probably don't want to get caught with one of those.
Bloody hell, Brian.
I will say that when I gave it to Misha and Ray, they really, really enjoyed it, and they ate it right in front of me. So, you know, I will say, you know, it's as I say that, I find it, it's crazy to me that these individuals that we're issuing some of the worst punishments and taking their things, even in lieu of all it, they'll still enjoy, you know, do something like slurp down a popsicle. And I wish there was more of that, in a strange way. In a way, they know, it tells me they know what they are doing, and they understand at some point that the axe is going to fall.
Can I, before we go into Liquid Library, can I give you something? And I want to know if this means anything to you. You look on the Twitter post on the 20th
Man, isn't that
of
sad?
February from the Oracle. It's been doing our heads in.
What that makes me realize, like, fuck, man. These guys are losing all their shit, and they're still like,
Saying
you know?
a book with a load of Twitter posts of from a long time ago.
But
Yeah, 20th of February, I believe it was.
ooh. Let me see.
I want to ask Blake if we do get the chance to speak to him again. I think one of your marshals features quite heavily in that.
Do you mind if I take a photo of this?
Oh, go for it, yeah.
No worries.
It doesn't, yeah, we'll need it back, but yeah, take it, all the photos you need.
This reminds me, I've got so many reports I have been... Oops. Oh. Do you mind if I pass this to Sparks?
No,
Don't
go
worry,
for it.
it's fine.
Yep.
Oh. Huh.
Yo, this shit is so crazy. Chat. Yo, like,
This is incredible. and goes back so far.
Yeah, 1 year ago was the first ones documented.
Huh.
I want to tell Frank and Nora
How did you
more.
come across this again?
Just yeah, I mean someone with a mutual interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
Considering that, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's strange for me looking back on all this that I was just working in a hot dog stand and I can physically now I can go back in my mind and remember some of the people and the I guess changing and I was just oblivious to any of this. And yeah, I guess a bit of regret that I didn't ask more questions back then.
I mean, why would you?
Yeah, I
Sometimes
know.
people make troll accounts and joke accounts on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to know it would turn into a terroristic organization that would try to dismantle our entire society? It's not a realistic expectation.
Yeah, I mean, and in the grand scheme of things, I think even beyond the gangs, I think there are a lot of people that may have played into their hand unknowing how big of a machine or they were involved in, let alone what that machine's motives were. I mean, it's something that I've been
Probably.
thinking for some time is there may very well be some businesses in the city that may function on behest of the faceless, but it's so far removed that even the employees are unsure. I mean, has anyone noted to you that there's been more blueprints that have been destroyed?
Yeah.
Um,
The streets are talking.
Yeah.
other than the one the marshals were able to seize.
Yeah, I believe the Ravens had one damaged.
Yeah. Exactly.
Boy. Helen Bach.
She in EMS?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is going to be a bit of a sensitive question, and I don't know much about EMS. I don't even know who really Helen is. And I'm hoping maybe y'all can shed some light, make some sense for me. How is a high command member of EMS owning a warehouse where a faceless blueprint existed and manufactured bullets? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. We were trying to decipher which of the two potential people it was. We didn't know what number the property was. We thought it was either Helen or what was the other one? Was it Cassie? But we didn't think it was
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
Yeah. I guess we didn't really want to believe it was Helen.
Rather forthcomingly, I don't expect for even a second that we're going to cross the line into underlining culpability because any evidence it's gone, right?
Yeah.
But for me, my calculus and why I'm so forthcoming about this is, what's done is done. You can't go back and solve every crime, but you can at least begin to design and focus on where some of the rifts may be. And I want to be very careful here, right? I am very understanding of the fact that it's possible, wrong place, wrong time, trust through marriage, friendship. We're just going to be doing X, Y, and Z here. I've got my private things over here for car parts. Little does the individual that owns a property know that they're doing something, right? And think about even throughout the United States. I mean, there's people that don't know what their fucking kids are doing on the computer, right? Kid could be hacking Sony or something, right?
Yeah. Alternatively, you could go so far the other way that this is a person who has direct access to the hospital, and should they ever need it, is someone they could lean on.
Exactly.
So that's and that's kind of why I bring that up. Is there any? So y'all haven't. This was a shock to you, I take it, right? Do you have any ideas, leads, like how this could have? Like, for me, it's shocking. It's not even. It's out of the blue, right?
Yeah, her name was completely new to us until that explosion happened on the warehouse. We'd not heard anything about any involvement or anything.
The
Completely
face
new to
assassins
us.
are going through it.
Mm.
All right. Well, this is a good conversation, Frank Nora. I wish it could be more productive. I wish there was something I could bring up that might. Actually, I got something.
I was going to ask if you wanted to say anything about a liquid library.
Oh my God! Yes. It has been such a roller coaster of so much shit that there are things that I need to look into that I forget I need to look into at this point. What the fuck is going on at the Liquid Library?
Match found.
Let me, Sparks, to bring you up to speed. I was UC. The day after Ray and Co. This is shortly after some of the initial arrests or the raids or whatever. It was around that time frame. It was a couple days ago. I was UC tracking these guys. I think it was the day after the Life Invader hack. And I tracked the faceless, a bunch of faceless assets, including Ray in Marlowe's vehicle, outside of the Liquid Library, like their vehicles were. And if I'm correct, Frank, no one was in there, but they exited.
Yeah. So there was when we went in, there were a couple of members of the guild looking at some books.
Yeah.
They were all messed up and stuff. I actually thought maybe they were marshals at one point, but they weren't. There was nobody at all. We looked at every book on the shelves to see if we could see any signs of anybody. Nothing. The only information I've got about Liquid Library is I have been told directly previously that it is a place that is used for to meet every now and then. And one person has told me that they watched a man and a woman go inside a room, and then they followed them into that room and nobody was there.
They followed them
Raid
into a room.
starting.
Did they mention? Chat, stop, okay? I just pressed a button, that's it. Did they mention at all, like, what? Did they mention at all what room that would be?
Now, I could ask the person again, but we've had a good look around before.
I'm turning
and-
this off, okay?
Yeah, couldn't see
Sorry.
nothing.
Sorry about that. I got this, my fucking damn MDT's acting up. Go ahead.
You're okay. You're okay.
He plays too much Tarkov as an MDT.
Look,
sir. You need a better
I may
processor.
have pushed something on my MDT, and I recently added this app that lets me know when things are ready and prepared, and it may have like unintentionally kind of exposed something. Listen, okay, it may have made a little sound effect saying something was ready to be played, and I do not want to open up my MDT mid conversation.
I mean, it makes sense now. If you bloody 1v1 in a buzzard,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you're
completely
thinking
understandable.
you're in Tarkov or something.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I feel like comes with whether it's like ADHD or whatever you want to call it. I always need something to keep me busy. Like, it's almost like, the best way I can describe it It's like, you know how computers nowadays, they've got, multiple cores and this, that, and the third. My mind, I feel, has to have a few things active. And if those few things aren't active, I kind of lose focus. Does that make sense? Like, unless I'm like hyper actively focusing on a subject, like something really, really like a puzzle that needs like 100% brain capacity. I need, if in this conversation, it's rather casual, right? We're not solving a puzzle or whatever. We're thinking about it. It's like my mind needs that extra 20, 30% somewhere doing something. For some people, it's like fiddling, I guess. For other people, it's the phone, which I refuse to use because I think the phone is extremely more distracting than anything else. But anyways, yeah, there's that's my excuse right there, whether believable or not.
It's no problem. I get it.
But sorry. So did they mention what room specifically?
Now, I can try and find out from the person. It was a few months ago, I feel like.
I don't think it was even that long.
Yeah.
Maybe a month
Oh.
and a half too.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
everything is
okay,
just a
they
bit
didn't see
blur.
anyone disappear in their room that day. This had
No.
been a previous day.
Yeah, it's something we've looked into before,
Yeah, it
to
was
be
a
honest.
previous day. What I can tell you about that day is I had gone to print the paper in the afternoon, and there was a lot of cameras inside Liquid Library. There's usually cameras, which I'm guessing are from the Liquid Library,
Sure.
but there were a lot of LSBN cameras placed like really blatantly out in the open. So
Mm.
someone is definitely keeping an eye on the place as well.
I very much suspect that there are going to be a number of individual. So, how do I put this? I think Weasel News cameras are at an all-time high in terms of amount of sales because
everywhere you look, there's cameras.
everywhere you look, there's cameras. Shit, we believe we've had some people plant them here, and then a different set also plant them here, and just based on timeline and where they were placed and whatnot.
Yeah, when we had those pings to the Epsilon building, we noticed in Minora there was about 10 on one street.
The building just behind it has literally a camera
That's
on every
wild.
single corner.
So on that, very quickly, because we're bouncing from subject to subject, one thing I do need to add about the day I was pinged to the Epsilon building and the fellow with the red mask was on the roof, is that there was a faceless asset in the area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was a black Sultan, and it came back to Nora got the plate. It came back to Steve O'Connor. So we don't know if that was by design, or he was questioning.
Sorry,
some of
when
the-
was this?
This was last week.
28th.
Yeah.
Was it the
He
day
was-
of the bombing?
Oh.
Let me check.
So I can tell you that when I had spotted, while those cars were at the Liquid Library, is when the Ravens warehouse was blown.
Yeah, there was a black Sultan. It had 4 people in it, and we only recognised the one. And he was questioning one of the other people that was pinged about what they were doing in the area and stuff. I managed to I believe so. I came back around the corner. Nora was on the camera, and there was only one person in the car. I suspect that they were probably trying to get to where Nora was.
Mhm.
So I had Nora jump off the ledge quickly and get into my car and get out of there. Yet Steve O'Connor was definitely in the area. Whether they had him patrolling the area to see if anyone was looking, or whether it was coincidence, I do not know.
Understood.
This was the day that there was a raid in Vespucci.
Oh, okay. So that's that I did not expect to hear.
Yeah, in terms of Liquid Library, we keep an eye on it, don't we, Nora, in terms of the car park to see if there are a lot of cars in the area and stuff. We'll continue to do so.
I appreciate that. I think in my okay, so I'm going to be rather forward here. I don't think we're the only ones that notice this. And I fully expect that y'all handle yourselves very well. But I'm sure you're aware there are going to be individuals that are, let's say, less secretive because, you know, following the faceless might be their activity for the singular day or handful of hours. And there is a part of me that's like, that place's cover, whatever the fuck is going on, may not get blown, but it may suss them the fuck out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have 3 discrete parties, all very discreet, but when they are acting in discretion simultaneously, all of a sudden their heat map and their footprint, you know, becomes a little bit more reflective, let's call it.
I mean, the good thing for us, we just went in and printed the newspaper, basically.
Yes. That was smart. I need to think on something just real quick.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just. I mean, we have that on our list of places we check out every day, Nora. Anyway, so we'll just keep it.
Oh, Frank, we forgot to bring something.
Oh God, what was it?
The work you all do is incredible. Like, I wasn't aware until I rejoined the Marshals that this was even a thing. I just had assumed you were very diligent reporters. Had I known that at all that any of this was happening, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that the work that you're doing is very good, and not just in quality, but it's clear that you care, at least for the greater good and for the people. That trait is exceptionally hard to find.
Yeah.
Yes, we try our best.
That's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
Appreciate the words. It's something we've noticed, isn't it, Nora? Like how hard it is to find other people that give a fuck, frankly.
Yep. Exactly.
It is a very rare trait, even on San Andreas.
How long you been back with the Marshals?
2 weeks. I was the second hiring phase of the Marshals back in 2024.
Oh.
Politically, it became significantly difficult to proceed with any sort of mandate from the state. So I didn't have the capacity to do it then. I resigned back in January of last year now, I guess, at this point. And I didn't plan on coming back. I wrote my best friend is a member of BCSO, and she shoved me into her car to ride with her one day. And I had no intention on even dealing with anything, right? And then I'm sure you've heard the emergency.
I got warm coffee.
Officers are severely injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 of those happened within succession of like.
This is what I really needed, chat.
Like, I can't not. Like, we responded to it, and Sky was fine, but I couldn't step out. I couldn't help protect them. I couldn't help any of the injured individuals. I sat in the car, feeling useless. So
That has to be really frustrating.
exceptionally. So, service calls and service calls, you know.
Yeah. Brian actually offered us a job a few weeks ago, and one of the reasons we said no was, imagine we were interviewing Charlie and all the beeps started going off.
That's true.
Yep.
Oh, we don't have to go to those.
I know. It's just I guess a little joke we had while we were weighing up our options.
Yeah.
It's one of the first mandates I instituted. Now, to be fair, a lot of that is because there is so much law enforcement in terms of sheer numbers, but also the amount of times I've sat back and said, there is no way we would ever be tackling even half of what we have been able to achieve. And trust me, we have
So much.
every day is just critical problem solving. Like even the thing that you and I probably still got to talk about that I'm sure you got an answer for, which, oh, fuck, we need to go.
We do, and I need to clock out. I need to put my service weapon and stuff away.
Okay.
Can I get
I really-
book back, by the way?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Okay.
Are you two available for that 3 o'clock hearing at all to report it? I'll pay you for it privately.
No, we don't need
Oh, no,
paying
no,
for
no, no,
anything.
no.
Respectfully, get fucked. I'm paying you. I'm not saying it for the marshals. I'm saying it for me, Skylar. This is a really important hearing to me, and I would like to pay you to report on it. Please.
Respectfully, I'm going to hand you over to Nora on this one.
And respectfully, we're not going to accept payment for anything.
Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just owe you coffee for the rest of my life.
That sounds good.
I'm gonna get ready to. Oh, you're following me.
Yep. All right. Hey, this is good. Every one of these meetings, I always feel like I have not. Everything we discuss is so breadcrumbs, right?
Now, the way I describe it, Brian, is a shoulder to spiral on.
Yep, it's a spiraling session altogether.
Oh, hey. All right.
All right.
Well, hey.
Time for us to go spiral somewhere else.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Hey.
Yeah,
See
and
you later.
might.
Y'all
See
stay
you
safe.
I'd
Have
take
a good
it.
one.
Oh, you got a vehicle. Oh, how
You
did
want me to ride with
the
you?
angel? Yeah. I'll bring you.
She seemed kind of defensive, actually, which I get because it's her judges, right? You would be the same thing with your marshals or
Yep.
with the rest of the team. So.
Yep.
She